Okay, so again, welcome back to yet another episode of History for Standard 10. I'm hoping that every one of you is doing well along with the members of your family. Also, hoping that you all are enjoying your time, you all are making use of this time, you all are being productive, you all are being helpful, you all are working towards something or trying to achieve some goal, giving yourself some goal in this lockdown. Now, we were done with the previous chapter. That was the Union Parliament. Now, just for a change, let us just go towards a different topic, or a very different phase, or a very different uh, topic than this Parliament or parliamentary procedures. Now, when we talk of, while I was telling, when we talk of the parliament, while we are talking of the parliament, while we are talking of a nation, while we are talking of a country, where did all this concept come from? It can be traced back, going back, we can trace it back to the French Revolution actually. After the French Revolution and after the calls of liberty, fraternity, equality, there came a concept of nation states. When we talk of nation states, what are nation states actually? Nation states are those countries or those territories or areas which have been designed or which are designed on the basis of, or those countries or those areas which are accumulated together on the basis of a common language, of a common culture, of a shared religion, of shared tastes, preferences. So that was a nation state actually. When we look back into 18th century or the 17th century Europe, we'll find that the concept of nation state was still new, and there newer nation states mostly based on the language or linguistic identity was being forged. New nation states were coming up, and when we are talking of these new nation states, many such states were coming up, and whenever there are new nation states which are coming up, there has to be some kind of a friction between the older or what was there in the older times and the newer nation states which are coming up. So this nation state thing started after the French Revolution, after unite or after a sense of unity came in the people of territory, after they started understanding the values, or they started actually practicing unity in terms of language or linguistic unity. There was the religious unity. So nation states started coming up, and when we are talking of nation states, there came a very important, or something very important came up during that time. That something was called nationalism. What is actually nationalism? Nationalism means feeling of pride for one's country, or for one's religion, for one's shared religion, or between the people, or when some people are sharing a particular religion, particular language, particular culture, they feel that sense of pride. That is actually what is nationalism. We all have come across this term a lot in the newspapers, television, in the past few years. Nationalism, someone is nationalist, someone is anti-nationalist. So nationalism is that common sense of unity which people of some country or a shared religion, shared language they feel towards their own nation. That is nationalism. So after this nationalism, this concept of nationalism came up mostly after the birth of the nation states. And after the birth of the nation states, when nationalism came up, what started actually happening was there was competition between nations. Nations wanted to, one nation was proud of its, or every nation actually is proud of its culture, of its heritage, of its past, of its history, of its language, of its religion, maybe. So this thing may cause at times hatred, or may result in hatred towards a different or a different nation, or a different shared language, identity, culture. So this nationalism at times gave rise to hatred, or gave rise to competition between nations. So from this nationalism came up something called the hyper nationalism. Hyper nationalism started coming up. You see, when people do not have much to do, when people do not have, or when a population does not have much thing to do, when there is large scale unemployment, when there is large scale problems facing a nation or the population of a country, people do tend to look inwards. People do tend, or the population of a country do tend to look inwards, do tend to, so as to, so as to boost their morale up. The population tries to go back or tries to look into its own culture, towards its own religious identities, towards its own shared linguistic concerns, and then they try to feel a sense of pride in that. And when there is, it is said that when there is, or no, it is not said, I'm just telling you all, when people do not have much to do, when there is unemployment, when there are other problems facing a country, people do tend to shift towards, more towards nationalism, and that nationalistic urge starts increasing, and then what we have is hyper nationalism. So hyper nationalism is something which you all have seen in the past few years in India also. So we have heard comments like, if someone practices this thing, or talks about this thing, or supports this particular person or this particular organization, then this person is a nationalist. And if that person isn't doing so, then this person is an anti-nationalist. So these kinds of sentiments come up when people do not have much to do actually. When there is a rise in unemployment, when there is a rise in other problems facing a country, these kinds of emotions do come up. So this is nothing but, or this is hyper nationalism. And hyper nationalism actually increases the hatred, causes hatred between nations, between populations of different countries. And this hyper nationalism became one of the most important reasons for the start of the First World War. Hyper nationalism, one country, French were against the Germans were not liking the English were suspicious of both the French and the Germans. So there was problems everywhere. Everyone, or each population, was trying to put down the other country's population. So we had nationalism everywhere. Hyper nationalism started coming up, and many other reasons did result in the start of the First World War. Now when we are talking of nationalism, we are talking of these nation states nationalism, we are talking of the 17th and the 18th century Europe. 17th, 18th century Europe, if you all have, or you all do remember, or you all do know that Industrial Revolution started in England in the late 16th, 17th century. And I mean the late 16th century, start of, somewhere in the middle of the 17th century, we had the Industrial Revolution happening in England. And that Industrial Revolution which happened in England did cause, or that when we are talking of the Industrial Revolution was one such landmark moment in the history of mankind that changed the face of mankind once and for all. And it did, the changes which came after the Industrial Revolution were so varied, were so huge. The impact of that Industrial Revolution was so huge that those impacts, the things which happened after the Industrial Revolution, just after the Industrial Revolution, and the way people behaved, the way people acted, and the way people changed after the Industrial Revolution has an impact till this day on the human, or on us humans. So this Industrial Revolution was one such landmark change or landmark moment in the history of humanity. When we are talking of the Industrial Revolution, you all remember that, you all do know that industries require raw materials. Industries require markets. You require the raw materials to produce the goods, and you require a ready market, a huge market, so as to sell those goods. Now when we are talking of the Industrial Revolution, that Industrial Revolution, the countries, mainly the European countries, those European countries needed raw materials, and that too in huge numbers. And most of the countries of Europe are not that blessed by or with raw materials. Raw material rich countries, or raw material rich continents being the Americas, then we have Asia, we have Africa. A few places in Europe also do have the raw materials in huge quantities, but not much. Not many of the countries do have a share of, or good share of, raw materials in Europe. So they required raw materials, and they required huge markets. Now the European countries did not have huge populations. Even till this day they do not have huge populations. So the market in Europe was not that big so as to feed the Industrial Revolution, so as to keep the Industrial Revolution and keep the wheels of the Industrial Revolution running and turning. So they needed market. and they needed raw materials. And what better way to get a market or so as to get raw materials than to capture countries? And that gave rise to imperialism. Imperialism was one of the direct consequences of the industrial revolution. People wanted, or the industrialists, they wanted the raw materials for for free, or even if not free, for very less amount. So they needed to capture countries, and these industrialists also wanted huge markets. And you have to remember that these industrialists were also controlling the governments of the day back in England and also some of the other European countries. So these industrialists, they wanted a huge market, they wanted places, or they wanted countries, they wanted control of areas which were having huge amounts of natural resources. That is why these countries started the policy of capturing different other countries, giving the pretext that, or on the pretext that we are a superior race, and the country which we are going to capture is an inferior race. So they gave that superiority and that superior and inferior race concept so as to give a legitimacy, or so as to lend a legitimacy to their captures, to their conquests. And the European countries, they started moving out, and they started capturing different continents. They started capturing, there was a scramble actually. All the European countries, they wanted a share of this colonization. All the European countries, they started moving out. Suppose I just keep a bag of chocolates on the table, and I ask 60 children so as to just go and have those chocolates. So you will not find that people will be, or the children will be going there in an organized manner. They'll be just rushing to the table so as to get the chocolates. That was the thing which was happening in Europe. The European countries were in a mad rush so as to control more and more countries. And while they were trying to capture those countries, they were also making enemies out of themselves. Now, when one country, suppose England was trying to capture one country, and the other country, suppose the Dutch or the Netherlands was having its eye on that country, then England did become a enemy of Netherlands. So this imperialism became one of the other reason why there was such huge animosity or enmity between the different countries of Europe, so as to get hold of more colonies, so as to get hold of more continents, so as to get hold of more countries with rich natural resources and a huge market. These countries of Europe, they started fighting against each other, they started plotting against each other, they started coming against each other, they started making enemies out of each other. And this imperialism also became one of the most important reasons why the European countries, after a few, maybe a century or so, they had to start a war. That was the First World War. Now we'll be doing the other reasons also. We'll be continuing with more such reasons, and we'll be trying to understand why the World War started, the First World War. The First World War was started to be said to be the war which would end all the wars. But then the First World War resulted in the Second World War, and the Second World War resulted in so many things. These two wars actually changed the face of the entire world, entire earth. And also the two wars were another landmark moment in the history of humanity. More on this in the coming videos. Well, till then, please stay safe, be safe, take care, and well, stay happy. And if you do have any doubts, please mention it in the comment section. Do like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.